So as the day begins, I wake up and start processing the husk fibers, creating stable, long-lasting soil crumbs. Rice husks work because they create permanent air pockets. Unlike sawdust or shredded bark, rice husks don't mat or compact. Their shape acts like tiny boat holes within the soil, forcing space wherever they're mixed. These hollow shells allow air to move freely, and once roots can breathe, everything in a bed improves. The most effective ratio is 1 part rice husks to 2 parts existing clay soil. You don't need to replace the clay, just amend it. For every 1 square meter area, 2 to 3 liters of rice husks is usually enough to begin loosening the top 6 to 8 inches. If the soil is extremely dense, you can increase it to a half and half blend in the upper layer without any risk of imbalance. The key is to fold the husks into the soil lightly. Avoid aggressive tilling. Just mix enough to ensure contact. The husks will continue opening the soil for months as they slowly break down. So the secret liquid is simply a fermented microbial brew. Every region, has its own version of microbial activation. Some gardeners use compost tea, others might use K&F inputs, and some folks go for homemade plant ferments. The point isn't really the brand of the liquid, it's all about the biology inside it. For clay soil, the most effective blend is just a simple, fermented kitchen waste liquid, strained and diluted, since it contains lactic acid bacteria, yeasts and early-stage microbes that, jumpstart decomposition. Now, a reliable formula is 1 cup of fermented liquid to 1 gallon of water. If your brew is strong or has been fermenting for over a month, you'll want to dilute it at a 1:10 ratio. The microbes, you see, help break bonds between clay particles, making the soil easier to work and, actually, encouraging earthworms to move in. When you combine rice husks with this microbial liquid, the husks act as scaffolding while the microbes convert clay into aggregates. This means your soil becomes both softer and more stable at the same time. The step-by-step method creates results within a single growing season. Start by loosening the top layer of your clay soil with a fork, not a shovel. You're not flipping the soil, just opening enough space for husks to enter. Sprinkle your rice husks across the surface, aiming for a thin but noticeable layer. Fold them into the clay slowly, making sure the husks don't clump. You want them spread evenly so every handful of soil has some structure built into it. Once mixed, water the entire area with your diluted fermented liquid until the soil is evenly moist. This initial saturation establishes microbial contact with the husks and clay right away. Over the next few weeks, continue watering with the diluted brew once every 7 to 10 days. You won't see instant results like a chemical reaction, but you will notice that the soil becomes darker, more crumbly, and dramatically easier to push your fingers into. So, in the first season, you'll want to plant crops with strong roots, like tomatoes, beans, okra, or even squash. Their roots will follow the channels made by the husks and, help break up the clay even deeper. After you've done your harvest, just apply another thin layer of rice husks and give it one more round of microbial watering. By the second season, your clay will, have transformed into something much closer to rich loam. Rice husks and microbial liquid, they actually outperform manure and compost alone. Now, many gardeners wonder if they should just add compost or manure instead. Compost is excellent, but in clay, it tends to disappear really quickly. Microbes break it down so fast that it can't maintain soil structure. The beauty of rice husks is that they persist, creating permanent pore space. When compost is later added on top, it stays in those pores and supports long-term fertility. This combination becomes a self-repairing system. Even if heavy rains compact the surface, the husks below continue holding the soil open. Earthworms follow these passages and leave castings deep in the soil, which accelerates the transformation even more. Fixing clay soil doesn't have to take years. With the rice husk formula, you can restore airflow, drainage, and root penetration without hauling in sand, topsoil, or expensive conditioners. You're essentially teaching the clay to loosen itself through biology and structure, and the best part is that the system improves over time instead of needing constant rework. If you want a clay soil that behaves like a rich vegetable bed, this method will get you there faster than almost anything else.